Hey guys, just wanted to. Hey guys, I wrote a few things down because on this assignment there was quite a few questions to answer, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. But as far as two insights that I've gained, number one was beginning with vision out of one of the books. I thought that was super interesting that the neuroscience actually points to focusing on the vision as opposed to what someone's trying to avoid. I know that the way that I've kind of approached this a little bit has been kind of like vision versus anti-vision. So it's like, anti-vision being if your life continued on the same path as it is right now, what's the worst case scenario? And then the vision being obviously, if you woke up tomorrow and everything was as it should be, as you want it to be, what would that look like? And so I really like that. That was one really good insight that focusing on the vision kind of helps pull somebody forward as opposed to them trying to push themselves forward, and how that actually creates much more significant and transformative results. The other thing were the two types of growth that Townsend talks about in his book, Hiding from Love. I just wrote it down, or actually just highlighted it. Maturing versus restoring growth. Says the only real difference between our normal spiritual growth and our growth out of damage is the relationship to time. Maturing growth deals with our on schedule parts. Restoring growth deals with our behind schedule parts. And so I thought that was interesting, how we do have some parts that are maturing well, but there's other parts that have been broken over time and they need to be restored. Kind of like the house analogy that he gives, the remodeling of the house. And I find that true in my own life. I find that true in people's lives that I'm in contact with. And so very cool illustration. And I'm really looking forward to learning more about that. As far as the definition goes for coaching, I would really say it's just intentional personal growth, because I think it was John Maxwell who said that personal growth does not happen by accident. And so it's just that intentionality that goes behind actually wanting to grow and doing the work to have the growth, and having someone help you see your blind spots, ask you the right kinds of questions to help you get to where you actually want to go, or even help you find out where you want to go before you even start figuring out how to get there. And I read a couple of different analogies that I thought were really good. One was in an article I saw online. It was basically asking what's the difference between business coaching and transformative coaching. And they were saying that business coaching is more like redecorating a house. And so you go into a house and you change a few things, add some furniture, maybe some wallpaper, do some painting, that kind of stuff. And that gets you from point A to point B as far as the looks go. So when you go into a business, that may be looking at different types of systems that they have in place, their culture, those kinds of things, and changing everything on the surface. But transformative coaching is more like remodeling, in the sense that you are, you may be knocking down walls to kind of to change the entire way the inside of the house looks. And I think with our style of coaching, which I love, is it's transformative. It's like you're really getting down to a person's identity, and really digging into those roots and seeing kind of what makes them tick and what's driving their behaviors. In terms of strengths that I may bring to coaching, I have this obsession with, in my life team will attest to this, that in the class, that I have this obsession with maxing out every area of my life. I want to be great at every area. And really, it's not for anyone else, but for myself. Like, I want to know what I'm made of. I want to know how far I can push myself, how far I can go, how good I can become, and how great these areas I can make. And so I want that for everybody. And I don't know that everybody wants that necessarily, but that is kind of what I love to do, is helping someone take a look. So you're looking at, say, like, look at the wheel of life, and you look at these different areas of your life, and you're saying, okay, well, I'm a 1 here or a 2 here, and in this other area I'm a 9, but I want to be a 9 or a 10 in every single area of my life. So how do I get there? And so for me, I've labeled myself as a transformational performance coach. It's all about that transformation that drives the performance that you're desiring, or really the fruit, right? So it's the whole Townsend method. You're going into the soil, grace, truth, and time. You're digging into that stuff, and you're helping that fruit max out, right? You're pumping that sucker full all the nutrients it needs, the fertilizer, all that kind of good stuff to really make that fruit really shine. And so that, to me, that's like my drive, because I want people to not just be, not to just not settle for what is, thinking, well, this is just kind of how life is, or, settle for the path that, that just feels like their default path in life. Because I've seen so many people in life, and I've been a victim of it myself in certain areas of my life, or times in my life where I've just kind of settled for what is. And so for me, I want to help people really be intentional about maxing out in every area. As far as areas I would like to grow, so the biggest thing I think, and there's a lot of areas I want to grow in as a coach, but I think the biggest thing is to really find really, really good questions. Like, I have a list of really good questions and learn, and this may be an intuitive process where I learn how to do this. I'm not quite sure yet, but how to ask these really good questions and when to time them, and how to apply these certain questions in maybe how they work in different parts of someone's life, whether it's the piece of fun and leisure, or maybe it's the area of business, or the area of being a spouse in their marriage or parenting, or whatever the case is. But like, how to apply these things. Like, one of the ones I thought was really good was one of the articles that we went through, and it said, what are you tolerating? I thought that was a great question. What are you tolerating? It's really kind of a paradigm shift question, because we don't typically think about what are we tolerating in our lives, and just settling for just what is. Yeah, so I would say that's probably the biggest area that I would like to grow in initially, and probably as well, I think I would say kind of a secondary to that would be presence with somebody. I think as coaches, we're fixers, right? I think Michelle talked about that a little bit. And so learning how to take a step back and be really good at asking the right questions, and then holding and waiting for the response. Because I want so badly for people to have transformation in their lives, to live a life that is honoring to God. I forget the guy's name. It's Balthazar or something, kind of a crazy name, but he said, who we are is God's gift to us, and what we do with that life is our gift to God. And I don't mean that in a legalistic way, like we have to earn God's favor, but more in the sense of, like, I want to help people and help myself grow in every area possible, to be as effective as possible, just for overall life satisfaction, happiness, but also for the gospel. That people would see it, man, like something's different with these people. Like, what's going on? What's the difference? And I think that's one of the greatest things about the Townsend method, in the sense of it's gospel oriented. It's focused on Jesus. It's not just psychology or neuroscience, but there's depth and meaning to it. Looking forward to your comments or questions. Thanks.